Hi everyone, welcome back to Mass Make March here on Studioloo. Today we are on day 13 and we are making shaker cards. So that was my little like joke kind of thing because we've reached day 13, which is not the center of the month, but it's like, it's not 31, it's 13. Let's get excited because we're sort of kind of halfway there. So today is shaker cards. So you can make, what is a shaker card? So it is, let me give an example. I think I have one. Hold on. Okay, so yeah, I do. So this is one here. I made it like a few weeks ago, I guess, a couple weeks ago. And it has little things inside that shake around and they're a lot of fun and they're a journal card. So we're going to make those today. And what can you use for the front of these? Well, lots of stuff. Today I'm going to be using packaging, which is what I try to use a lot. So I bought recently some pillows and some different things, and this was a duvet that was sent to me with a mattress that I recently purchased. So I have these bags. Now, I often use these for storage, but like I don't need more of them. I have nothing else to store. So I'm going to use that. You can also use this kind of packaging, which is what I used here actually. These are great. So they come on the front of like things that you buy. This is a screen protector that I found at my recycle center, and even these thin bags you can use. Just make sure whatever plastic you're using is not going to tear. Also, this is like, these are overhead, you know, transparencies. So anything like that you can use. So there's lots of different ways that you can make shaker cards. In this case, I used a jelly printed background and I used one of my little creatures and I glued it down. I'm going to today try to use up books. So I'm going to use this Talking Like the Rain book. I'm going to just select pictures out of it. So there's kind of two ways that you could do this. So like if we pretend that, you know, this is your foreground, and then this, let's say this is your background, you know, so like you could punch a hole or tear a hole out of something like this, you know, so that that was a peek through, and you could put, you know, a flat piece of plastic behind and have your shaky bits back here. Or in, you know, the case of this one, the whole background is visible. So probably I'm going to make this kind today just because of what I'm doing, and I also want to go quickly. Then what can you fill your shaker cards with? I have sequins. I have all these old pharmacy bottles. I got all of these craft supplies like reused, and this person kept these medication bottles. So this is more sequins. These are like, you can get this kind of glitter for like, it's like jumbo glitter. It's often sold like with nails, like fingernail supplies. These are like super jumbo sequins. And then also like you can get this kind of stuff, like, you know, these little bottles of different kinds of sequins and things, glitter, little tiny beads. You can use natural things like milkweed seeds or, you know, little leaves and things, little bits, right? So let's get going and choose some images. So I'm not going to try to go crazy today with how much to make because these are a little complex to make. So I like this image. We're going to go with this beautiful bird. And then I'm just going to go, you know what I'm going to do as I'm going through here, I'm actually going to pull out the things that I won't use, that I will use, because this is another way, another tip to make your books a little skinnier is when you go through them and you're choosing things, like it's a great idea to just also get rid of anything you're not going to use. I'm just looking for images that I would find ideal to be shaker cards. This one's cool. And I might start with, we'll say 6, okay? So I need like 2 2 more. Maybe Owl and the Pussycat, that's a nice one. Maybe this chicken. All right, now we'll set this aside. So I'm going to tear these down to the size that I want them to be. And I'll set this stuff off to the side. Maybe actually I'm going to use that too. These swallows. And any of the scraps from this, I'm definitely going to keep them, because I like all the verses and the words. Try to keep these to a decent size, because we don't want to get too big. There we go. And one more to go here. Just this beautiful swallow. Okay. Alrighty, so now we are going to get started. So I'm going to just start by I haven't used this kind of plastic bag material before, so I'm just going to kind of experiment with it first. Now, the first thing I'll do is I'll just cut off this flap on the front. And then one thing I noticed is this has another pocket on it here, which actually could be kind of cool. It could be some sort of a fun, I'm going to save this, because you know what we could do? We could make something, we could trap something in here and make this. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a shaker card with this. But it's going to be a different kind of shaker card. One that we could use as a signature in our journals, because it's huge. Okay. So let me just look at what I have left over here. Are any of these skinny enough? No. So this I can't use for this. But this is so cool. So you know what I'm going to do with this? I'm going to make this one first. Where's the open end? That's the open end, that's the closed end. So what I'm going to do, if we imagine this is going to become a signature, I'll put a fold down the middle right like this. And I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to actually use my creatures in here. Not that one, it's too tall, because it's going to give me a quick and easy way to like create a cool shaker. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to get a little creative here. So on the backs of these, we're going to ink with blue ink. Just to give some interesting color. Then I'm going to take a little bit of art glitter glue in the middle here, not a lot, just a bit, and I'm going to glue this one to this one, so it's kind of like going to look a bit like a shadow. So that's what's going to go on, oops, other end. Where do they open? Hold on. Oh, this end. Okay, so this will be side one. Plunk you in here. And I need to do the same thing again with two more of these, because we have two sides to this signature. Will you fit? You will. And I know you will because you're shorter than him. So let's just ink those up again. And you know, you can choose whatever color you want. You could do black if you know, or gray if you wanted it to be more shadowy. I just want a bit of a brighter color. And it just takes the kind of stark, you know, fact that this is just the back side of something out of the way. Makes it more interesting. Get it in there. Now we got to plunk you in here on the other side. So that little bag situation. There we go. In you go. Okay, so now this will be a signature. So let's add our stuff now, our like fun little things. So I love these little blue stars. So I'm going to throw those in there. Not throw, but carefully drop. We'll go like maybe half this bottle and then half into the other side. Did I just spill those? Yeah, I did. Okay. I'm like, please tell me it's not leaking. It's not. Phew. Phew. Then I'm going to put just a few of these larger silver sequins in there too. Okay. So what I don't normally do during these videos, as you know, I've been trying to keep my stitching until the very end. However, today's a little more tricky in that we're trapping itty bitty things and we don't want them to get all over the place. So I'm probably going to take a few little chops here and there to stitch things up and keep it all secure and safe so that I don't end up with a giant mess here. Because as you can see, I'm already spilling things, right? Because that's the nature of how I am. Okay. So now we will. The important one here is I got to try to get everything away from this fold. That was something I kind of overlooked. So let's just grab a wooden ruler and see if I can't just kind of do a sort of a separation here. This might make things worse, to be honest. We'll see. Because I don't want these together. Okay. Try to segregate those a little. Maybe I'll just fold it actually. Let's try just folding and then tap it this way. First tap it down, then tap it this way, and everything will come right to the edges that we want. So I'm going to push this one little down. Sorry. So we're doing this. Right, I think almost. Plastic is so sticky, that's the problem. Okay, fold again. Okay. Sorry for the noise. I just want to hit this with the ruler to just get it down. All right, so now I am going to take that stitching break that I told you about so I can go and just trap these. I'll be right back. Okay, we're done, and this makes me beyond happy. to have a shaker signature. Like, oh my gosh, yay, it's so cute. Okay, so that's number 1 done. Tips. Okay, so when you're stitching, you might find your sewing machine will not like to sew through plastic. My recommendation is use a good strong thread, not a vintage one. Make sure your machine is clean beforehand and that you have lots of thread on both bobbins, because it's really annoying to be in the middle of trapping something like this and have your bobbin thread, you know, run out. Ask me how I know. And then also when you're stitching around, be careful that you don't, like, you know, hit these things, because you can break needles that way and you can mess up the timing in your machine, especially with sequins. Make sure that you're trapping all around. Another thing that might make your machine a little less grouchy with you is if you make your stitches a little bit longer, but don't make them long enough that something like this could slip right through, right? This one was not attached, but I'm just using it as an example. And then, you know, what else? At the end, you know, test it. Make sure nothing's falling out, because you don't want any situation where like that could happen. You know, double check, because probably like me, you're going to have a few pieces of glitter that have just hung around on your desk. So that one's done. Let's move on. Okay, so next I think I want to try using the rest of this. Let's just get to it. We'll cut this. I'm going to try to cut like the side off first and see how wide it is. Okay. And you know, as you're doing this, like with this kind of material, you'll see how like important and good it is to use this kind of thing up, because like, oh, these things are so hard to recycle, because like the zipper that's attached and and you know, like you can't keep stuff like this forever. These things, this kind of plastic, like it wears down when it's used for storage for a long period of time. It turns, you know, kind of whatever from being bashed around a lot. So like try to use it if you can. All right, so this piece is going to be, I think, too thin for this one. Yeah. Now we do have, this one's a little thinner and it's long. So I'm also going to use a nice sturdy piece of folder. That's what I'm going to back these on. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is just use my glue stick to back the card down on the backing. And we might as well do all of these while we're here, because we're mass making. So let's just back them all. So I have accidentally created a conundrum for myself. As I'm filming this, we have now decided that we're going to take a March vacation. So I am going to need to hustle and get these videos made so that I get this whole thing done for you guys here in March. Why am I like this? Why am I like this? You know, why do I do these things? Oh, it's the worst, but that's okay. I think I can do it. Also, as I'm filming this, we are on the precipice of like a super a snowstorm that's coming. Not looking forward to it at all. Not at all. But that's okay. It means that we'll be trapped at home, so I can like get videos done. And I feel like this project is probably one of the harder ones, maybe. So some of these might just be super relaxing. I actually find a lot of them quite relaxing. Even this one, I'm not stressed doing this or anything. It's just nice. nice to just be making stuff. I know in March I'm going to have like less journals in my shop, but I think that'll be okay. Okay, so these three are backed. Now let's find the other side of that folder. Here it is. That was too thin, right? Yes, okay. Okay. But I'm happy that we are sorting out taking vacation because I need a vacation. I just want to get away from the cold. I'm not going anywhere tropical, but I am going somewhere warmer to visit some family. Okay. I love the weight of folders for backing things. Okay, I have a piece of excess gray folder here that I could use up. Now the other thing too, you can actually, at this stage, you can do some collaging too on top of these if you want to. The only tip I'd give you is, you know, if you're using anything that has kind of like texture to it, keep in mind that anything you put in here could get stuck to it and kind of caught up there, like, and it won't be as free moving. Also do your inking or anything like that that you want to do first, because it will be trapped under acetate. I'm not going to ink today. I'm actually totally fine with what this looks like without ink. So I think I was going to do that one with the little girl with the boat on the water next, right? Yes, okay. So I think the way that I want to do these with this particular kind of plastic, it's going to be kind of a pain, but I'm going to go to my sewing machine and I'm going to stitch 3 sides, come back, fill it with what I want to fill it with, and then stitch the top. So that's the plan. The plan is a little different for some of the other ones. So for this one, let me see which would be best in here. Maybe this. Let's see what that sort of shape is like. Actually, you know what? That one won't work for it. It's too short. This will work maybe better. Yeah, that'll work better. Okay. Does it have edge on all sides that I can work with? Yes, it does. Okay. Okay. So, let me just think about this. All right, so what I want to do with this one is going to involve art glitter glue. And, oh, I should probably choose what I want to put in there first. So we have a dragon and this man. Maybe these little glittery bits would be cool. Yeah, let's do those. I'm going to pour them in here because this has a bit of a well to it. So that, and maybe we'll throw a few sequins in there too, just for the fun of it. Okay. Get in there. These are so staticky. There. Okay. I think it's because they're plastic and they're being stored in plastic. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right around the edge of this flat piece with glue, art glitter glue, and just a little bit. Okay. Then put your finger down in a spot, maybe, or maybe not your finger. Here, I'll show you. Hold on. It's got to get a little piece of paper. So just take a little piece of paper like this, put it down here, put your finger on top of it to hold, because then you won't get your finger oils on the plastic, and go around and flatten that glue down. And the reason why is because it's going to get rid of the excess glue, and it's also going to make it dry faster because the glue surface has been spread thinner. And you won't have to wait forever and ever for your glue to dry. And the reason that that's important is because you don't want any of your stuff to stick to your glue, because then you get all this collection of things all stuck to that outer shell of your work. So when you lay this down, make sure you're doing it so that you're trapping everything the way you want to. Like, you can look down at your image. Okay. I'm just going to give it a little press. And I'm going to pick it on up. I'm going to give it a slide into the exact spot I want it. So I need to move it up a little because I need, there we go, I need equal kind of footing so I have room to stitch on that flat spot all the way around the edge. And then I'm just going to hold it above my head, just to look at the image and how it's being captured. Okay. All right. Yep, I'm happy with it. Now, importantly, let this go and dry for a little bit. Don't try to play with this right now. Just let it be. Okay, so what I'll do now, maybe before I do some stitching, I'll measure out plastic for the others. Using this pillow cover again. So I'm going to use the big piece first. I'm going to cut right along the seam and try to get as much of this plastic as I can. That's a good big piece. And while I'm here, I might as well just cut these seams away that I'm not going to use off of the side pieces and get rid of the zipper. Let's just cut here because that's kind of folded. Alright, get rid of all the zipper. There we go. So maybe I'll set the big one aside and I'll use the little ones first if I can, because the big one, you know, it's a little more flexible to be used for different things. So let's get the skinny piece. The skinniest piece is here. So this one can pair with that one. So set that on here. And then, do we have any that can pair with this one? That's too wide, I think. Let's see. I'd say say that's like just gonna make it. Is this one a little wider? Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Those 3. And then I'll get the bigger piece here. And we need a piece for the size of this hen. And I'm going to leave a little bit of extra around the edge because I don't want to go too close. And then the sparrow. Do we have enough plastic for the sparrow? Yeah, that's good. So sparrow. Okay. This one is last, and this work? Will this work? Let me see. You know, maybe I could just trim it down a little bit more because as I'm looking at it, I can see that's a little crooked anyways because I ripped, and sometimes my tears get a little wild. That's okay. There. Okay, that's gonna go. All right, so I'm gonna go stitch all these and I'll come back and we will fill them. All right, my stitching is done. So I've left the plastic long. Tip for you. Okay, so when you're stitching these, do the long edges, you know, make sure you do both the long edges and one of the short edges, leave one open, but make sure it's one of the smaller ones that you leave open because it's a lot less to manage when you put things inside there. So when you go back, all you have to sew is this. Another tip that if you only had, if you don't have a sewing machine, you can do shaker cards. Most definitely you can. You just basically will want to trap, like, remember how I was talking about, you know, you create a window. So let's imagine that this is my window here. Okay, hold on. Just want to show you, oh, you know what, I'll use one of my creatures. That's an idea. So let's say the little thing you want in the background is this. Okay, like let's just, you know, tear this a little more so we can see them. Okay, so then you would basically, if this is your window, and we'll make it bigger because we'll try to make sense of this as a bit of a tutorial instead of just a, okay. So now we've got him in there. He's the background. Maybe you've got green back here, and maybe you want to put little blue stars in there. Okay, so you're going to, you know, have your 2 pieces of paper. Put your acetate on here and trim your acetate so it has a border around that's probably at least a 1/2 inch, I would say, around your hole, and then glue as far away as you can. I would use with acetate, I'd probably use either art glitter glue or like a weld bond glue if you use that instead, or even Fabri-Tac is fine. It works fine with acetate. So then you've got your acetate there. So then that's glued together. You put it down, and when you put your card together, you know, you're going to then glue a little further away again in between here to attach these 2 things. So you'll have your backing, you'll have your background, and you'll have your foreground with your things trapped in there. So you can definitely do this. You don't need to have a sewing machine. I just find sewing machines to be quicker and easier. So here's the one that I put that glitter in, and see, all I've done is glue it. And I've been getting leakage. So I noticed that because I tested it and I was like, So I'm definitely like gonna get some of the glitter trapped in the glue, which is okay. So with these, I would not recommend using anything really tiny like this glitter. I wanted to do an example for you because, like, what is it if I just show you perfection, right? Like, anybody can do perfection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch around the edge, not hitting this raised part, and that will secure things much better. But in the meantime, I'm just going to move this around so that the glitter kind of goes all over. So it's not collected anywhere too much in one spot, right? So we'll come back to that one, but for now, let's fill these ones. I'll get rid of this glitter, and I'll just tear that page off the book so we don't have glitter everywhere. Holy cow. So set that aside like I mentioned. Now, one other thing is, the other thing you can do at this stage is if you have little appliques like this, I shouldn't even be showing you this because it's part of Thrifty Thursday. I just found this at a thrift store. It was $3 and it's totally full of these little like different kinds of appliques. So I thought, you know what better time to see if I can use some of these, because some of them are really weird and cool. Like, you know, I thought maybe in here that would look neat because it's also see-through, so like you can stick that in there. And if you don't have itty bitty tiny things, you can use little paper or plastic like appliques at the same time here. You don't need to have little tiny things. So can I fit that in there? I'm going to use my bone folder and see if I can push it. Oh, I actually just pulled it. Come on, go in there. This is a big long one. Sorry, I'll show this to you in 2 seconds. I just want to get it all the way down and in there. Okay, so see that cool arrow? That's going to add something fun in there, a fun element. Then I want something else in there with these little birds. So I think I'm going to choose a little of this glitter because it kind of reminds me of the sparkliness of like the wings of a swallow. So let's now dump it into the bag, and I'm not going to put a ton. That's enough for me right there. I will replace the lid so we have no drama. Okay. And then I'm just going to shake this down. You might want to have something that you can use to help, not your fingers because your fingers have oils in them, but something that you can use that's like relatively non-staticky to just help push down your glitter so that it's not here. Because see, with your finger, oh, it didn't stick that time, but often it just sticks to your finger because, you know, glitter is evil. So, all right, so that one's there. So I'm just going to set that aside. I don't feel like it's too out of control. Now this one, the owl and the pussycat, I'm going to give them some, I think, little blue glitter. Oh, and I went from the bottom here. That, and then I want to give them some bigger glitter too, some silver maybe. And the bigger like sequins are good because they create more space in the card so that it will move around a little freer. Okay, so that one's good. Just put that one in there. Set that over here. I'm just going to look for 1 second and see if I have anything else for this one. Of course I do. I want some like red to go with this hen. So some red sequins. And then maybe maybe one of these. Just like a little applique that can float around in there. Okay. Now our swallow, I'm going to use, not those. Here it is, my baggie of Danger Sparkle, as I call it, because it is, it's double bagged because it's a little out of control, this sparkle. This like glitter has jumbo and small glitter in it. That's enough. And then we just do up both bags again. And we say a kind word to the glitter people so that it doesn't go anywhere. this one. So I think, I don't know, would it be cute to have a leaf in there? That's a little big. Something small from this little, these little bits and bobs. What is this? Is this 2 pieces or one? One, I think. I ain't gonna shake though. It's too thick. Just looking to see if there's anything in here. There might not be, and that's okay. Well, I do see a couple things actually. 1 and 2. So like these are good for this kind of thing. Plunk those in there. And she's on a swing. So I'm going to give her a bit of green. And I've learned with this kind of thing that the less is more principle, it works quite effectively, because the more you have, like, it will kind of wash out your image, and you don't want to do that. Like, you don't want to lose your background image too much. A couple I just need to press down here. Okay, there we go. So they're in there. Sorry if I'm not like showing them to you really clearly. I will at the end. I just don't want to like spill them. So she is out of pond. Let's give her a blue. And silver. Okay. So we have filled everything. Everything I've made, and I'm right on time. Like, I'm actually making good time today. I'm going to try for the rest of these videos not to go super over. Yesterday I definitely went over by like probably half an hour as I was playing with the greeting cards, and I don't want to do that. So now I will go and I will stitch these, and I will come right back. Alright, so the stitching's all done now. So now it's time to go ahead and trim. So I typically will trim either right up to the edge here. Just make sure you do not cut into your stitches, because that will be sad and everything will fall out of your card if you do. Okay. 1. I'm sorry if you can hear my family shouting. My daughter's upstairs trying to find something, and my husband just found it, so he's saying, "It's down here." So there's not a war going on, I promise. Okay. Just trim around here. And on this one, my bobbin ran out of thread, so again, do as I say, not as I do. Make your machine ready to go. Okay, and I have a little string. And if your machine does run out of bobbin thread, what I do, I go back several stitches, and then I back stitch 3 times as well. So it makes a little slub there, but it's more secure. Nothing's going to come out of here. You know, I know that. Because you do not want leakage. Okay, then get rid of those excess strings. Yeah, that's fun. Okay. This one had a little bit more rumply plastic, so it's got a little more space than the rest. which for what this is, which is a little girl running a little boat down a river, I kind of like that it has a lot of movement. It's fun. All right, now this one is a problem child. We made all the mistakes on this one. So my sewing machine absolutely hated having to stitch through this because it's a lot of layers. It's grochy. See this big thing here? I'm not giving up on it though. I'm not. Also, we use tiny glitter, and I had to go to like a super heavy duty yarn, or not yarn, it's practically yarn, it's thread, but you can probably see how heavy duty that is in comparison to these tiny. So this is almost the weight of an embroidery floss. It's like the heaviest thread my machine will deal with because it just kept breaking. So what I want to do, I'm going to use washi tape, okay? And I'm just going to do this so that like I know for a fact that none of this glitter will escape. I don't think a ton of it is, but you know, one by one by one, eventually they'll all escape if they can escape. So I'm just going to use a washi tape. This is a really sticky washi tape that I might not even really need to glue, but I always do just because. So what is going on? Does anybody else just have like crazy smart machines in their house and they just turn on for no reason? I don't know. Okay, so we're going to go right over the stitching, lay that down on one side, flip it over, okay, just kind of gently guide it. And clip the end. Okay, and we have to do the same thing basically on all four sides. Just an insurance policy, right? Because nobody wants glitter flying around their house. Okay. Whoops. There we go. Fix the end of that washi. Go. One to go, one to go. There we go. And then you have options at this stage too. You can trim the edge a little more if you want to. Just don't cut into your stitching that's under your washi, but you can trim again if you like want a little less. I like the border though. I think it goes really nice with the background image. Let me just shake some of this down. Yeah, that's really cute now. So yeah, I'm going to, the other thing I'm going to do, but I'm not going to make you watch me, is I'm going to back this again just to trap the edges of the washi tape inside there. And I'm going to do it with like probably a coffee dyed paper and art glitter glue. So it's a nice strong bond, okay? So yeah, a little troubleshooting for you. I think it's good to do those kind of things. So let's see how many of these we made today. So first our signature, which I think is my favorite. 1, the problem child. 2, 3, the little girl here with the boat on the river. 4 is the little girl on the swing. And she's, yeah, she goes this way. Okay, yep. 5 is the sparrow. 6 is the hen. And then the owl and the pussycat is 7. And 8 are these little sparrows with that arrow, the arrow of sparrows. So that is it for today. And let me get my little card so we can record what we made. What did I say 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, we made 8. All right, so I will see you again tomorrow for more Mass Make March, and I hope you have fun making shaker cards. Bye for now.